Okay. If you could please state your name and who you are first.
What? My name and what?
And who you are.
Oh, my name's Gisselle Puente. I'm the BPA president. What else there is to know? What else do you want to know?
That's hopefully.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. So first I want to begin with BPA. Many students don't even know what BPA is. So if you could please tell us more about BPA for those that don't know.
Okay, BPA is what it's known as. It means, bruh. Okay, BPA is Business Professionals of America. So basically, it's just a career readiness activity that kids can participate in. So generally, we have our general business area, which is like presentation management, marketing, global marketing, international marketing. So you could basically work with those type of partnerships in a way, as if you were on your own team. And then we have our IET course part, which is like video and audio production, podcasting, which gives you time to have what's the word? I don't know. Take a break. Brain pause.
Like freedom in a sense.
Yeah, freedom.
To like free in your creativity to do like express yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, good what you're saying. Now that we know a bit more about BPA, like what do you do for BPA as president? Like, like host the president, like he does a lot, a lot of coordination.
Yeah.
But what do you do for BPA?
Okay, so for BPA, it's a little more simplified than HOSA because HOSA is like this big whole school activity, and BPA is more of a small organization that the school has aside from HOSA. And so basically, our club is we just talk a lot with our vice president and our treasurer and our historian, and most importantly, our secretary, because he does a lot of our work. So basically, I communicate with them to let them know what the deal is, what's going to go on meetings, what is information we need to inform these students of, making sure they know how to get to the activity or access to what's needed for those students. Basically.
And how long have you been a part of BPA?
I've been a part of BPA since I was in 8th grade. Freshman year wasn't an option, but I've competed in BPA every year since then.
Why did you join BPA, like, all the way in 8th grade?
I think the reason I joined in 8th grade was because I was like, oh, they go on these cool trips. But then I didn't realize how much work was going to be put into it until I started competing. And seeing that opened me to be like, oh, this is something I'm actually interested in, and work from there, and went on with it since then.
Mm-hmm. So being a part of BPA so long, you had to have learned some things. So like, what has BPA helped you accomplish or overcome or taught you even?
I guess BPA has helped me with my communication skills because I used to be really closed off as a person. So I wouldn't involve myself with other people, less yet stand in front of more than 20 people and talk to them. And so now I'm more comfortable with speaking in front of people, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. And then I've also gained, what is it called? Well, leadership skills is one. Second of all, communication. Third of all would be, I guess, being able to get my thoughts flowing, like going on with what I have in my head. Like expressing what's the word I'm looking for? My inner self, I guess, in a way, if that makes sense.
So BPA is something that like it's matriculated you to have things that you can use like for the rest of your life, in a sense. Okay. And how influential would you say BPA was in your high school? How influential would you say BPA was in your high school career? Like, besides everything you just stated, like, how else does this club benefit you?
I guess it also helps you learn more about the real world because it's setting you against all these people in this competition. That's like, oh, you might be working for this business and you and your co-workers are being competitive and trying to reach the top. So you have to show this project to your manager and your bosses to work from there, and it kind of helps you build character in a way. So,
but not even just that. In my opinion, like, you can see a lot of things that are in like our business world today within BPA, because like different competitions like interviewing skills and like things like that that show you how real it is, like show you exactly how it is in the real world,
Which helps you prepare for
yeah, which
what's coming in a few
yeah,
years.
exactly. So I know that we stated about hosting, like how they're bigger than our, like it can be considered bigger than our organization because like the amount of members they have and like how it's more known and
Yeah.
notarized. But how would you say BPA compares to that organization or even other organizations here?
I guess with BPA we give our students more time. So let's compare our meetings for example. So HOSA, they basically like do a whole meeting, they have games, and they kind of like communicate with each other, which is a good thing. Except the difference between us is we have our meetings and we host our meetings and we expect our students to work on their competition afterwards. So we kind of help them and go through it with them to look over their competitions, unlike HOSA, which they look over it at the very end when they could have been looking at it throughout the time they've been working on it to improve it over the time.
Yeah.
So we like to work with them as they're going through it so that we can have any comments or adjust any issues that they might be having.
I will say that's a very good point because like I've been to hosting meetings myself, and there it's not like they don't give you set time where you're just working to work on your competition or whatever, and they're there to help you. It's more just they're doing things. I understand that. That's a good point to make. And as you know, you are a senior and you won't be president of our local chapter here at Blanson next year. So who do you believe is not only responsible enough but can live up to the standards you have set for BPA, and why would you choose this person?
I honestly think my secretary Darion would be the best for the position, only because the way I've been preparing him this year is basically having him help me alongside with everything I've been doing since the beginning, since we started. And he's been very helpful with it, which means he should be really good at it if he takes on the role and decides to continue on with BPA. I'd be happy to give him the presidential role. If you had to say something to the incoming freshmen and students here at Blanson, how would you convince them to join BPA and why? Like, Okay, so honestly, I would just say if you don't know what you want to do with your life as a career way, so you might be in the healthcare program here at Blanson, I suggest you join BPA your freshman year so you can have an idea of what everything else looks like outside of your courses. So like for me, I learned that my medical classes isn't something I want to continue with, but it was a good run through. Like I have a good knowledge of what I know, and if I ever wanted to come back to it, I have the information. But this also benefits me because now I'm continuing on with business, international business, which I had been doing business information management here with BPA aside from that, which has helped me learn what I wanted to do for college. So I recommend at least joining it 1 year while you're here to have a better idea of opening your mindset to what you might want to do in the future.
I feel like that's a really good point because I'm in the HHS program too, but I'm also in BPA, and it's showed me that there's more to it than just my program. That
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
To have more than one thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And one last question I have for you is, being a senior now and like you've been stressing about college and college apps and everything, has that interfered or been challenging with also being BPA president?
I guess the only thing would be like issue-wise for me was my first semester was intense because that's when you do all your college applications and etc. When I could have been doing them during the summer and had less things to stress about. So like I wouldn't prioritize BPA at some moments because I needed to get those things done. But that's also why I had my secretaries to help me with those issues that I was having, so that I knew I had someone to trust with it. So.
Well, thank you for your time here. You know, you made some very valid points. And yep, thank you.
You're welcome.